lot of time.
I guess I should say how much time do we have?
Exactly.
When do I start? Because it's a vast subject, and it's a conversation that can last days. But you have to understand. I mean, it all depends on where you want to start and what exactly you want to talk about. The the French have been there for a long time, and they have been able to, just like the British and just like the other colonizers, they have been able to bring themselves into our culture and our people, and control the political system there, and make people sign treaties and stuff that really did not make sense. And till this day, we pay the price. Now, when you say Congo, which Congo are you talking about? Because you know that there's two of them, right? Yeah, the two of them. There's so the Congo Kingdom, the Congo Kingdom prior to colonization, um, was basically consisted of Angola, Congo DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo,
Mm-hmm.
the Republic of Congo, which is Congo Brazzaville,
Mm-hmm.
Gabon, and a little bit of Cameroon. And so it was a huge area. It was almost all Central Africa, all basically Central West Africa. And so in 1880, Africa, when Africa got divided and got cut up in pieces, they basically cut the Congo Kingdom into four and a half different countries. And so the reason why I'm asking is because when you say Congo, which one do you want to know about? Because one was colonized by the Belgians, and one was colonized by the French.
Well,
I can't hear. Just so you know, I can't quite hear you.
She move her body like a shaman. All in my head, so much in common. Just say that word, baby, I'm on it. If this ain't love, then I don't want it. She move her body like a shaman.
Hold this then. Okay, that's fine. They know that I'm not perfect. First of all, before we get anywhere, let me introduce the podcast, because we're not podcast, YouTube video, because we were talking. Hi everyone, welcome to Culture Healing. We don't have all our big excess today, nothing. We already started the conversation. Today we are talking about the Congo. As you guys have already seen, we have already started talking, so you know who it is I'm talking to. Welcome Hamish again, and he knows everything Africa. We don't. So he is about to tell me everything Africa today. So far we've learned there are 4 parts of Congo. And he asked me what it is or which one I want to know of. And I wanted to know of the one that has the resources, coltan. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yes. So even with that, called the coltan,
Yeah.
the coltan and the cobalt, they are both. So they are found in both countries, in both countries. But there's one that has most of it, and that's being exploited for it, and that's the DRC. That's the Congo DRC.
Okay.
That's the one that was colonized by the Belgians.
And which one has I guess most of Africa, if I can say, has the child soldiers. Does Congo have most of it as well?
By child soldiers, what do you mean?
Well, I've been doing some research. Oh, I can't put this on right. I've been doing some research, and I've seen that there are children who are in the army, and they have those children addicted to opiate and some sort of drug in order for them to be a part of this desensitized regime.
That's in a lot of countries that have militias. What happened is Angola has them.
I know
Congo,
Colombia.
Rwanda has them.
Yeah. Ghana.
I'm not sure about Ghana.
Isn't that where that movie came from, Beast of No Nation? Isn't it Ghana? No.
Are you talking about? Or you're probably referring to Sierra Leone?
Oh yes, it is. Yes, you
Liberia.
are definitely correct.
Yeah, Sierra Leone and Liberia.
Yes, you are.
So had those. What happens is when the West finds a rebel leader and puts him, that guy ends up in a country somewhere in a village, and he has to gather an army, and they don't have enough adult men. So what they do is they take the young kids so that they can have a lot more people. And the only way you can get kids to be able to kill and not feel any remorse is by drugging them. So they drug those kids so that infants can kill a man, an adult, and not feel nothing and keep going. And so that happens, like I said, Rwanda has them, Angola, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and quite a few countries where the rebellion started in the villages. Yes, that's what that is.
Okay, all right. So 18 something, you were telling me when the French invaded or colonized there is when they start to take the resources and implement this whole war system.
So if you want to know about the DRC, I'll give you a little summary.
All right.
We have to go back to the 1800s, 1870, 1880, 1890. Leopold II took the DRC Congo as his own territory, his personal territory. In fact, he took it and he gave it as a gift to his wife. So that was, he called it his own backyard, so to speak. And he then sent out a bunch of people from Belgium to get the Congolese to start getting copper, because copper back then was becoming popular. It was a high commodity. And most of the copper was coming from the Congo. And so what he did was, because he was using that as a business to pay off some of his debt, and he gave a quota to the people in the Congo of how much they had to get, how much copper they had to get, because they go get copper from the trees. And those who did not meet their quota, they would cut the limbs. And some of them, they would cut the kids' limbs. So many of those guys found their daughters and their sons being cut up in pieces because they did not meet the quota.
Okay, so how did he get there in the first place? I mean,
how did Leopold,
how did he get in charge of this, and in the fact that he actually bought the Congo?
So you have to go back to the 1500s. DRC Congo was explored, but they say discovered.
Okay.
Stanley was a British guy, explorer,
Mm-hmm.
who, when he found the Congo River, he then saw that there was a big country with lots of resources. And so he went back to I believe back then he was the King of England or something like that, to try to get them to go and take over. Back then, Great Britain was not interested. So then he went to Belgium, and he convinced the emperor, Leopold II, to take over. So Leopold II then financed them so that they could go and take it over. So what they did was the same thing that they did with everybody else. They would go and meet with the kings of the villages, and the villages had, they had lots of land. So they would meet with them and they would make them sign contract as to like basically giving over the land to the white people. It was a trick. These people could not read.
Of course.
Right?
The language.
This is what they used to say, we now own and have. And so they started slowly to come with the missionaries as though they were coming
to help
and coming to convert them and the gospel. And at some point they just took it over, because the problem is when you let a stranger into your house, right, nicely, before you know it, he then bullies you.
He owns it.
Yeah, he bullies you. Yeah. That was what happened.
Okay. So that's how.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So.
Because they came over with the boats, they brought all these people with the weapons, and our people there did not have much. And so back then they were still taking some people to the transatlantic slave trades and stuff, to the Americas. So people were still coming to where you guys are, so they would take him from there and ship him over. So it was a whole business back then.
So
we were just commodities,
as usual, because if they want something that is on the land, they're going to push them off the land to get what they want. Yeah. So I'm not sure where the war between the people of the Congo started, because I know there are different. I don't know if it's there, so you will tell me. The Hutsis and Tutsis. Where is?
That's Rwanda.
That's Rwanda. So
the Congolese, there's no fight
amongst each other.
Congolese. It's the people from outside who come
to fight them. Okay, I see. Because I wanted to clear that up, because I wasn't sure where that was. Okay, so I have seen, because I've been doing a lot of research in terms of the coltan and the different resources that they have and what is being used, how it's being used over here, and what France is currently trying to do. For me, I don't trust a lot of media. That's one of the things why I reach out to you as well, because things can be chopped up and given to you in any sort of fashion, right?
Always. That's what they do.
Exactly. So I wanted to know what is happening there with the kids. How much money are they making really off of this coltan? Because I know we all know we are using this.
So I went back to the
1870s.
And fast forwarded to, because the Belgians were there all the way till 1960s.
1960s.
Most African countries started to fight for their independence. And
independence.
Patrice Lumumba, who was one of the leaders there, became prime minister. And he, just like Kwame Nkrumah, wanted to have his people truly liberated. And so at that time, they had just found Now remember, in 1940, was it 1940 or 1944? When they bombed Hiroshima,
Got it.
when when the
Looking for a
US
bomb.
bombed Hiroshima with
Mm-hmm.
that, they had to use uranium
Got
to
it.
make the bomb. The uranium that they used was taken out of the Congo.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
So at that point, you already had the CIA in the Congo
Mm.
because they had realized that Congo had a lot of resources.
Mm-hmm. That would contribute to their wars.
But the US had realized that with the CIA, but Belgium was there.
Mm-hmm.
So the US partnered with Belgium in the 1960s to assassinate Lumumba
Mm-hmm.
because they wanted to stay out, they wanted to put someone there that was going to be their puppet.
Mm.
And they knew that they wouldn't do that.
Being able to control him.
So they killed him. So they had Mobutu kill him. Mobutu was his right hand man.
Mm.
And they had Mobutu arrested.
Mm.
And they basically assassinated him, killed him, and they put his body in acid. And Mobutu then became president for 33 years.
Wow.
And while Mobutu was there, they were taking everything.
Mm.
And again, throughout his career, throughout his presidency, they got to figure out that Congo was really rich.
Mm-hmm.
And when they found out about the coltan and the cobalt in the 1990s, that's when they decided that Mobutu had to leave. And because Mobutu was getting old at that point.
Right.
And so what they did was they then found another guy and who was going to take Mobutu out. But what happened is they took this guy, and that guy, they took this guy and they created. So here's the crazy thing that people don't know. The war, the genocide in Rwanda was not a mistake.
They planned it as a distraction?
Yeah. It was a distraction. It was, they had to get the
Which is the Hutsi Tutsi thing? Mm-hmm. Got it. I just want to put it right there. Got it. Mm-hmm. Continue.
So what they did was they went next door, created a civil war, and they did their best so that the people who committed genocide had to run away to the Congo.
Mm.
And so then what they do is when those guys left for the Congo, run away, they put a president there who's Kagame. And Kagame then used the fact the fact that the genociders went to Congo to chase them into Congo and take over parts of Congo, because the cities, they basically blocked everything around Rwanda so that these people only had one way to go, which was towards this Goma, which is the city where all the planes were coming to take the minerals. So the Rwandese had to take it over because these guys had the planes land there to take the minerals.
Wow. Which then also enable them to get more workers as is. Because, people leaving your home, you have nowhere to live, and you're there, so you have to find somewhere to live, a job, take care of the kids.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And so so then at that point, the US was behind it, because the whole coltan thing, the whole genocide that's been happening since things started, all of that is the US that's behind it. It's the corporation. And so what happened is they put Kagame there in Rwanda so that they can take minerals in Congo and have it get out to Rwanda. Rwanda has no minerals, has nothing.
Mm.
Everything is from the Congo. The reason why you see Rwanda today emerging as one of the big, the developing countries is because they use the money from the Congo. So this Congo is such a big country. Congo is as big as France, Germany, Italy, the UK, and all combined.
But this is the thing too, because a few months back, I saw this video saying that actually Africa is bigger than it is, but they make Africa smaller to make it look that way.
I posted it on my Instagram.
You posted as well? Yeah.
Many times.
See? So that's what I'm saying. So this is not shocking to know that.
Yeah, the map is a lie. These guys, they lie. They lie so much.
Right.
You know? So that's that. So then in the 1990s, the US fomented with the French and all of that. They fomented all this whole plan, and they the one who basically put the guy there in Rwanda so that they can take control of the resources in the Congo. And because you gotta understand, those borders are just imaginaries. Okay, like when I go from here to Connecticut, or from here to Philadelphia, there's no borders.
You just drive through.
Okay, maybe here in New York you have the tolls, but there's nothing beside that says, hey, there's no no fence, right?
Yeah, like the half for Mexico to you guys.
Yeah, this is in Africa. So right now in Congo and all, people can literally walk
through.
There's nothing. So
basically, it's like a mental thing. This
is why when the sentence of African enslaved or enslaved Africans ask me what country they're from and they want to trace back the country, I'm like, there's no point. You can't do that because back then there was no countries.
It was just Africa.
Yeah, it's a false. It's a construct that was created by them. We didn't have that. So what you need to find is maybe find the tribes, because tribes, like you find the tribes in 3-4 different countries. So it doesn't really matter. Just find a place that you like and call it home. It's Africa. It's Africa.
Okay. I got you. So far we have 4 Congo that was split up. And most of the resources where is that one in? Most of the resources.
The resources are for the most part in the eastern side of Congo.
Eastern side of Congo. All right. So it's in eastern side of Congo, but I saw that the pirates that they made it look as though the guys were stealing from them when in fact you were trying to steal from them are also there as well, because I saw that they are people who are fighting back now and that are pirates. I posted a video of it on my YouTube.
Well, he was really the founding father of piracy.
Never fisherman, just cashed in on the free fall.
بعد واحد عادي لفت جودي حتى أنا يسوه بيجينه أي مالهم وضمنا بريق أفريقيا عرفوا تتجان إسكسوه بيجين وما يلك له كلي مادين وما يمنها كلي مادين in ayaga laftigoodiiba ay yimaadeen iyagoo maaragtay doonaya inay xeebta yimaad lagu qabto bahalka wata waardiyay ka qabteen si maaragtay aan iyagoo isleeyaan laydinka jiirin ama maaragtay meeshan ka geli lahayn baddii shaqaalii dib ay nagu soo laabtaan maalin walba
Okay, so far France came into play, and France. How much does France own? Because I refuse to believe France don't own anything. How much does France own of the Congo?
Well, it's a little tough to answer because how much do they own?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is that they made people sign contracts with them
Mm-hmm.
to basically hand over the resources, but they don't own it. So you know, I would say they own it. I think it's nothing but bullying and the stealing. That's really what it is. They don't own anything. But you know, as far as like, so again, France is more involved on the Congo Brazzaville side because they're taking the oil, they're taking everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But on the DRC side is the US and Belgium. Is the US really? The US has they have the monopoly there when it comes to businesses and resources, and they're there because they're stealing the resources. So that's the sad part.
Okay.
The day Congo closes its borders and truly no one can come in, the world will go bankrupt.
Okay, so you left me off at they killing out the 30-year president that was there to put in his second-hand guy. Is his second-hand guy still there? Is he out? Who did they replace him with?
Okay, so the no, that was, I mean, every president has a second guy. I was just saying in the 1960s, the gentleman who ended up killing the Pan-African leader was his military military secretary type thing. You know, but as far as like now there's a president. He's a diasporan. He grew up in Belgium, and then he went back and ran for office. His dad was in the opposition. His name is Tshisekedi, and he's a president now. For the past year and a half, I think 2 years. The problem though is when you are president in a country like that, you don't really have much say.
Power.
Oh, because first they make you sign contracts. They make you agree to certain terms before they let you in. It's crazy. It's really, it's kind of like what they do here in the US.
Right.
When you see those candidates, the Obamas, run for office, before they run for office, they already agree to the terms of the party. Like there are people they answer to.
Wow.
And by the time, so just like this guy that I follow says, they select them and re-elect them.
So we really don't have a hand in anything that is being done. Simple. You just think that you do because of some sort of talking.
And this is why I don't believe in changing Africa through politics. I don't believe in changing Africa through politics. I think the best way to do that is to do so through enterprise, creating jobs, and empowering the people. Because when you empower the people, then the people then rise up. And I don't think that can be done politically because right now, let's just say, I go home because I'm from the two Congos, so I can choose what Congo I want to be. and I can go and stay there. Speak the same language. My dad was born in one, my mom was born in one, so I can, let's say I go to the Congos and I take over, right? Let's just say I become the president and I take over. And I say, French, F you, the US, F you, what happens is that even if I say that, these people, all they have to do is to basically say, we're going to go and invade or we're going to put an embargo on this country. And just like they did in Zimbabwe, they put an embargo and then you find your country not being able to trade or do anything. Because we don't produce a lot. So because we don't produce a lot, we depend on the West. This is why, if you notice my post, I encourage people to go and start businesses there and to start producing things that we import. Because by producing things that we import, we can then become just like China, create our own stuff, and therefore we won't need anybody.
Exactly.
So the way that we wake up, we stand up and say, we are tired with you, we're done with you, then we will be able to go by our business just like normal. Because we will make our own rice, we will make our own manufactured stuff. We will make our own, like all this other
we
things.
don't really need it. Yeah, it's true. I agree with you.
He has to start with manufacturing. He has to start with agriculture, things that truly create independence, like true independence.
Okay.
So otherwise, you can talk all you want,
but it's not going to change if we don't take it back into our hands.
Guys, the leaders all you want. Those leaders, they somehow they have also their hands tied. You can say all of that, but if the leader is can't say much.
All right. So far, what we were talking about, the whole world knows stuff is happening in the Congo, and they're trafficking children. I asking these questions because they're leading to go somewhere. They're trafficking children. They're stealing the resources. People are fighting amongst each other. That's one of the reasons why I asked you about the war between the Hutsis and the Tutsis and stuff like that, right? So I am going somewhere with these questions, and you're going to like where I'm going with it. My next question before I go where I'm going with this is, what about the diseases down there before I get to it? They keep saying that certain places have Ebola and the swine flu and all of those different things, right? This is Africa we were talking about. Is this true?
Is it true that we have Ebola in the Congo?
I sure we got Ebola everywhere, right? But
the answer is true. Like there is Ebola in the Congo. We did get rid of it though. There's a professor, there's a doctor who's been working really hard on it. So they cured just about everybody, and there was no one that they found that had it again. But the problem though is that Ebola, the question that has to come is, where does it come from?
Keep going. I like where this is leading. Go ahead.
It's like what happens is the way these people do it is they come and destabilize the population so that you look like a mess.
There we go. Strategy, people.
So Ebola, to my beliefs, Ebola was created here. Ebola was created here in the US, and it's something that they imported there.
Boom. Why? Because they don't want us to go there. Why do they want us to go there? Because of what he just talked about.
Exactly.
Boom.
They don't want you guys to go to Congo.
No, they don't. And this is why they have it where it makes it look like Africa is not livable. It looks like Africa has a lot of diseases. Africa always killing their people. Africa are brainless people. They made it look that way.
It's no different than if I found a gold mine and there's a mine, it's a mine that has infinite gold. That means for the next,
however long, 1,000 years.
1,000 years. There was always big gold coming out of it.
Yeah.
I don't need to go there. There is there's a witch there. There's I would create all kinds of stories So you don't go there, because if you go there, you realize, you open your eyes, you realize that, oh shit, this is where we need to be.
Ooh, exactly. So with that, they don't want us to live. No. But my next question is Africa livable? And how can we live there?
Africa is very livable. Africa is very livable. It's just, the question is just, the question is just, where would people want to go, and what are their aspirations? Africa, now you have to remember, Africa is bigger than Europe. And so Africa is way bigger than the US. And so you know, there's so many places you could go in Africa. Now, based on what you want to do, there might be some places that are strategically better. Right? If you're looking for a place where you could live semi-comfortably and be able to speak English, and be able to see some fellow Americans, then Ghana is the place.
Okay.
Why? Because Ghana has been one of the countries that has invited the Afro-Americans for a while.
Initiate the year of commemoration of one of the most momentous events of history, the commencement of the transatlantic trade, slave trade, which brought tens of millions of Africans to the Americas, North, Central, and South. We know of the horrors that accompanied that forced journey. We know of the brutalities that were meted out to them during their stay in the Americas. We know of the great difficulties they have encountered in attempting to assimilate and live and maintain their dignity in the Americas. We know of the extraordinary achievements and contributions they have made to the life of the Americas. And it is important that in this symbolic year, 400 years later, we commemorate their existence and their sacrifices. It was in anticipation of the year of commemoration that my great childhood friend, colleague, and associate, the late Jake Otanka Obecha Bilamte, then Minister of Tourism in President John Agyekum Kufuor's government, a government of which I was part as Foreign Minister, launched in celebration of Ghana's Golden Jubilee, the Joseph Project, the project that identified the need to symbolize the return of the prodigal son who was lost and found. I would like to dedicate this whole ceremony and this to his memory. He insisted on granting easy visas to all returnees, and that we should give force to the right of abode. I think it is the duty of my government to do both of those things in commemorating of next year. But I would like to say in conclusion that the most important consequences of all the activity we're here to initiate is that together on both sides of the Atlantic, we will work together to make sure that never again will we allow a handful of people with superior technology to walk into Africa, seize our peoples, and sell them into slavery.
And there are many there now. Now, if you want to go to places that say, okay, I want to go where the road is less traveled because there's way more there, then Congo is the place. Because in Congo, you can go, you can get land for cheap, you can start doing whatever you want to do.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Go ahead.
I was watching this documentary. Do you know where, you know, all the vanilla we take, we consume and stuff. Do you know where that comes from?
No.
I wonder? Like all the ice cream, all of this vanilla this.
The cocoa beans and stuff like that?
Anything vanilla, right?
It's from the Congo?
No. Vanilla comes, 80% of the vanilla comes from Madagascar.
And even perfume. vanilla is the go-to flavour the world over. In recent years, the price of natural vanilla has shot up. At one point, it was more expensive than silver by weight. "80% of the world's vanilla is grown in the perfectly suited climate of the northeast region of Madagascar. It's the country's primary export crop. For the farmers, like Benny O'Don, life's far sweeter when the vanilla price is high.
Ja, ohatran'ny taloha boka ilay vanilla mbola tsy lafo zegny. Pétrole ampiasain'olo amin'ny alina. Ja, igny zegny dio. Fa io kafa niakatra ilay vidina vanilla zegny, mampiasa plaque solaire zegny olo.
In 2014, vanilla was $80 a kilo. 3 years later, it was $600. Today, it's around $500. The price rise is due in part to global demand. The trend of eating naturally means that food companies have shunned synthetic flavouring in favour of the real deal. Benny and the other farmers are cashing in.
Io olo zegny presque izy zegny efa maro amin'olo zegny navita tragno tsara. Le zaza mba vao mpianatra lavitra ity. Ja, tsara le fiaina, tena tsara.
But things can change very quickly. Price fluctuations affect producers of agricultural commodities everywhere, but vanilla is particularly volatile. In just a few weeks, the price can jump or plummet by over 20%.
Tegna misy aloha satria raha tsy lafo ny vanilla zegny, tsisy raha azo atao ambanivolo ety.
Liberalisation is one reason for such movements. The Malagasy government once regulated the vanilla industry and its price. But now the price is negotiated at the point of sale, which makes for a freer market, but a more volatile one. It's also a tiny industry. A single cyclone can knock out the entire crop within Madagascar. It's also a difficult and delicate crop to grow.
Vanilla is an orchid that needs to be hand-pollinated. This is a really, really labor-intensive practice. If anyone has grown an orchid at home, you experience how difficult it is to keep an orchid alive in your house. Now try growing this in the middle of a Malagasy rainforest. It takes roughly 6 months to grow it on the vine, and then 6 months of manual post-harvesting. Now the interesting thing about vanilla is you need to take it off the vine when it's almost rotted.
The growers have to contend with another problem. Thieves are targeting the vanilla crops.
So Malagasy now are sleeping out in their vanilla fields. They can't rely on those who are charged from the state to protect them or protect their crop. They're having to take matters into their own hands, and this has really caused some problems, vigilante justice, and a whole host of other violence connected to vanilla.
Some farmers have resorted to harvesting the beans before they're ripe. But this produces a poorer quality vanilla and ultimately pushes down the price. The combination of deteriorating quality and high prices is having an effect. The vanilla price bubble may burst.
So if the price continues to stay high, there's a number of scenarios that play out. We can continue as we are now and have a relatively unstable market where farmers are growing vanilla under very, very distressful conditions of theft and violence. You could have the state and corporate sectors, theft and violence, try to re-regulate the market in some way that might stabilize prices and also quality. Or you might just have the market crash out.
Big buyers that provide vanilla for the likes of Häagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's are now working directly with farmers in a bid to gain greater control over quality. Other companies have started to look elsewhere for their natural vanilla. Indonesia, Uganda, and even the Netherlands are growing the crop. For a century, Madagascar has enjoyed a near monopoly on vanilla. But this industry may be in line for a radical overhaul.
Oh, right.
And the rest comes from Uganda and other countries. But that's where at least 90% of the world vanilla comes from Africa.
Wow. You hear that, people?
Now, here's the thing. Vanilla is the second most expensive spice in the world.
Wow. What is the first?
I believe it's
chocolate.
No.
Coffee.
No, it's
Much later.
Saffron.
Saffron. There you go.
Oh.
This is saffron, and just 1 pound of it can cost you $5,000. It's easily the world's most expensive spice. The next most expensive spice? Vanilla at about $600 a pound. So what makes saffron so wildly expensive? For starters, saffron is a complicated spice to harvest.
My name is Arash Qalagulab Behbahani. I am postdoctoral research associate at University of Vermont. To harvest the saffron, you need a lot of hand works to pick up the flower, separate. Saffron is dehydrated or dry stigma. The stigma is the female part of flower. You have to separate that stigma, dry that, and for all of these procedures, you need hand works, labors. I prefer to harvest the flowers by hand because I don't like to damage other parts of plants.
Saffron comes from the saffron crocus flower, and each flower has 3 red stigmas. That's the saffron.
The yield of saffron is really low. You have to hire a lot of laborers to harvest 4 pounds of saffron per acre. Is nothing.
Just 1 pound of saffron requires 170,000 flowers. The purple flowers bloom over a 6-week period, from late September to early December. There's also a specific time of day to harvest them.
When we have a high relative humidity in the air, so it can affect the saffron quality. Also, sunlight can break the chemical structure in the saffron. So we prefer to harvest the saffron early morning every day, or if you don't have flower every day, every 2 days.
90% of the world's saffron is grown in arid fields in Iran, but harvesting all that saffron comes at a price.
Why Iran is the main producer of saffron? Because workers are available and they are cheap. In some part, it's like slavery. Their behavior with labor. I hate that, I should say. Based on my experience, they usually, workers came to the farm in Iran around 5, 6 a.m. and they left around 4 p.m.
Most saffron harvesters are women, getting paid a maximum of $5 a day. Saffron is not only grown in Iran. It's grown in Morocco, Spain, Italy, the Netherlands, Afghanistan, India, and even in the United States. Why the US? Though many Americans have never eaten saffron, the US imported 25 tons in 2013 and 46 tons in 2016.
I knew that saffron has a good resistance to the cold weather. If you cover Vermont state with a layer of plastic, you will have the same situation that we have in Iran.
What's so great about saffron? Over centuries, it's proven useful in many situations. Saffron is most commonly used in cooking.
As an Iranian, every day we use saffron in our dishes. We cook with saffron a lot. So far, I couldn't find an alternative for the taste of saffron.
It gives paella its signature flavor and golden color. It's also used in broths, breads, and marinades. When saffron is broken down, it creates a golden dye.
Everything is not just about saffron production procedures. Saffron contains some chemical components which are really expensive, like picrochrosine, crosine, and saffronol. They are 3 main components or compounds which are responsible about the taste and color and smell of saffron. You know, when we are talking about saffron quality, technically we are talking about these three chemical components. Saffron inherently is a valuable thing.
People have tried passing turmeric, red marigold petals, and lily flower stigmas as saffron. But the flavor and dye is totally different. In large quantities, saffron can be a potent, happiness-inducing narcotic. And research suggests it may help reduce the symptoms for Alzheimer's, depression, and PMS. Who knew this little spice packed such a punch?
Saffron is the most expensive spice. Second to that is vanilla. But the thing is that people don't know. Now, vanilla, all you need is land. And it takes about 2 years to turn around. But you have a plantation of vanilla, you making money.
Wow.
Because you're going to be shipping all over the world.
Wow.
People don't think.
Wow.
You know, I just got 250 acres in the Congo.
Wow.
250 acres.
I might cut this out. I think I can cut this part I'm about to ask you. At what price? I mean, right now in Guyana, because we have resources as well, right now the Americans took us over completely. They changed our name, they changed our flag, and they elect the people that they want. So we're about to become Africa right now. They're about to start a strategic war between us, but people are not concentrating on that. But we have the same sort of resources that Africa do, and we have oil, and oil just become known to the world that Guyana has oil, which is in South America. So buying a piece of land in Guyana, which is really big, is really cheap.
Right? You know what you can get?
In the Congo? How much can you get?
You ready?
Yeah.
$500.
No. Wait, hold on. For an acre?
You guys, I'm telling you, you have no idea what these people are doing.
Wow. Wait, give me a second. For an acre of land, I can get $10,000 in Barbadian money. And buy me an acre of land in the Congo? But I need $60,000 to buy some in Guyana?
And let me tell you, you can get it and you can start your own agriculture and start a whole plantation of whatever you want and start selling stuff in Africa.
Wow.
That's why I'm saying, this is what I'm telling you. When the white people go to Africa with a little money, they become rich in no time. That's why.
Okay, so not just the Congo, but almost all of Africa, basically? Zoom is trying to stop this flow.
It's okay. You know, they can only try.
That's their business. All right. So my last question before it cut out completely was, so if I decide to go some other place in Africa, the land would vary to what? 15 most go up or go down if I want to get land?
It just depends on where you go. But like I said, it just depends on where you go. But like I said, with Africa, you have to go see. You have to go and see and have an idea. And from there, you will know what you want to do. Like there's so many ways you can make money.
Wow. Okay. All right. So people, Zoom, stop it, please. Right. So people, we have gone off topic, but this is where I was going with the conversation. I wanted people to see how they make it look dangerous to the point where we don't go. And if we do go, then we realize, oh, it is really good. And we can actually survive there. And it's really cheap to survive there. That is my main thing about wanting to do this video with you.
And this is why you see me posting all these things about people going back, because I'm trying to get people to go and see, because they will realize that the little money they make here is a lot of money there. So the little they have here, they can start businesses there. They can employ people. They can create jobs.
Yeah.
And that's where you create real wealth.
Wow. Okay. So let's say I, as a non-national of there, and I wanted to move to the Congo, right? Because you know about there. How do I start this procedure in wanting to go to the place that has Ebola, that has child trafficking, that the people are killing each other?
Yeah. But here's the thing, even the Ebola thing, when it happens, it's only in the remote parts of, like maybe a village.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually, the Ebola is usually where they have the mines.
Mm.
But the city, there's so many other land that's good. So what you have to do is just have to get your passport. What passport do you have? Albanian passport?
No, I have a Guyanese passport, and I think Guyana travels to Africa without visa. But I can always go Google again.
You should be able to go to Africans.
Yeah, they've made flying to Africa so expensive, and that's one of the reasons why people don't want to go. So if I go to Africa
that's just a way to stop you guys from going.
Yes, it is. See that there, another trick. Do you guys see how these people are playing chess with us, though? You understand the reasons why I was asking him all of these questions? They've been playing chess with me for a long time. Not only have they taken our culture, our spirituality, our educational system, every single thing, they have taken our land and put us here where we have no choice but to survive and depend on their system and their policies. So I feel like if we as a people
that's where you have to go.
What he said. Exactly. So my thing is now, because I think the cut us off again, so I can ask again. I want to go to the Congo and live. I am not from the Congo. What do I do? Oh,
can you hear me?
We get married. Oh, there.
We go to the Congo. We get married. You get a citizenship.
Wow.
And then you can do whatever you want.
So I get married. No, that's tricky. What if I don't want to get married and I just want to go and get?
No, but I mean, there's ways. There's ways. You can go. If you just go first, you can go and start investing, and by the time you live there and all of that, you can pay for your citizenship. That's not an issue. The white people do that all the time.
Okay. Because I just don't wanna. I just don't want to meet some. Go ahead. No, do you?
Yeah, when you go there, you start, hanging around and all of that. Like, and when you start investing, people that would facilitate that. That's not an issue.
Oh, okay. So then,
citizenship can be bought in many countries. Citizenship can be bought, especially when you're investing. You bring in money to a thing. That's not an issue. And there's a lot of countries that are very favorable to descendants of slaves coming back.
Oh, well, we are now hearing about this. This is news to them, of course, because a lot of people were told that. I even see some videos, I don't know how doctored it was, saying that they don't want descendants of slaves there, they need to stay over there, and all of those different things. So this is good to know, people. It's not true.
It's not.
All right. So if I don't want to go find some sexy Congolian guy, I can definitely go there and invest and buy me some citizenship. And from there, I can then say I want to buy land wherever.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for real though, like the truth is that there is lots of money that can be made. There's lots of opportunities, and it's just a matter of people going and seeing what's there. I'm telling you, by the time you go, I don't know, and I don't know if it's just me, because my mind is such that whenever I see something, I go, bam, we could do this. I could do that. I could do that. So if you have that kind of mindset, if you have this entrepreneur or businessman like mind, there's gonna be so many things you see that you can make money on.
Yeah. I definitely agree, because there's a few things over here that I want to do myself, but because of how not Ebola, the corona went, things shut down. But that is one of the reasons why I start looking into and researching the Congo. I wanted to know not just Congo, the Africa of a whole, because for me, I am aware of the bullshit system. And I wanted to know if we can go home. I feel so half in sense becoming aware of myself. I feel like I'm half, and I just feel like this thing in me saying, go home, right? And it's not just home to Guyana, but home to Africa. That is how I feel, like I'm missing something. So I wanted to do some research and see, why are they saying Africa is so dangerous? And what?
Don't waste your time with that. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time into researching the obvious. We already know why they don't want you to go. There's no point of looking into why are they. It's like I was listening to this guy saying yesterday, yeah, we have to figure out before we start investing and putting our money together, we have to figure out why are we so divided and all of that. I'm like, what? You want to spend time trying to figure out why you are so divided? Didn't you study your history? Like, no, this is the time to start putting money together and start going. Don't look into the past. There's no point, right? So that's basically what I tell people. You know, what I tell people, like, don't waste time into looking for the obvious. Trying to figure out how you can make money. And so, if I were you, I would say look into resources that Africa produces. Why isn't it done in so many countries? And now, starting in August or September of this year, whatever company you have in a country in Africa, now you can start selling all over Africa. Before it wasn't like that. Before the borders
were closed off,
prevented you from selling the same product in another country. Now you can create a company and just like ship it out everywhere. So imagine, just imagine you are producing beans, and all of a sudden you start distributing in the whole Africa because so many countries are asking for it.
Wow.
You're gonna be rich in no time.
Wow.
Like, just think about it. Just pretend you are producing beans in the US and distributing in all the states. Now, remember, Africa is like 5 times bigger than the US. So imagine producing something where you can spread it out all over Africa.
Wow.
You're gonna be counting dollars like
in
nothing.
no time. Yeah.
In no time.
Yeah.
Especially, this is why I'm telling people it starts with land, because land is the base. This is how the white people are where they are today. It's because they had land and we did not.
Yeah. Agree.
So with the land, they were able to because with land there's wealth. You can cultivate things. You can then take the value, go to the bank and say, hey, I own this, blah, blah, blah. So you're already ahead of more people. And when you start buying land in Africa, that's when you start seeing, oh, shoot, I have 200, I have 500 acres in such and such. I can cultivate this. Africa doesn't have this, enough of this. Let me produce rice. And before you know it, your rice is going all over Africa. You're talking 1.5 billion people. If you produce rice, there's no way you can be poor. So even myself, as I'm talking to you, the only reason why I'm still here is because my plan is to leave in 2 years with a certain amount of money. And so my plan is, when I leave, I have to have a certain amount of millions. That way, when I go there, I already can start like factories and all without needing nothing from anybody. But when I go, I am not going back. Like, I am not moving back here.
Wow. Vacation, and that's it.
I'm out.
Yeah. All right. So people, the reason why I asked him here wasn't because, I wanted to know about the Congo. But not the reason that a lot of people may think at the head of the video. I wanted this. information, because I know that we here don't have a chance, especially now that we are majority on the planet. And the fact that information is coming out that we can go to Africa, it is not true that they don't want us. And two, we can survive there. We can go there. Our people want us there. Why are you still here? Why it is that you want to stick around somewhere that you do not belong and they don't want you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Understand? So this was my main reason for wanting this video, because I am tired of seeing our people talking about Black Lives Matter and seeing you in the ghetto, living in little chapel houses, not able to do anything, when you could get $5,000 from your family. Everyone pull together some sort of money. Get 5,000 US within your family, and all of you buy a piece of land, go down there, marry Hamish, if you are a woman, and get some land.
But go ahead.
Right. And you get a piece of land. At the end of the day, stop not trying to get out of your suffering. Stop being afraid. For one thing, if you can live in this society that don't like you, then why not try another society? See how it goes and see what can possibly happen. And what more better to try?
Especially because, like, the islands, I feel like for me, you are so limited.
Yes.
You know,
agree.
You know that you guys are still paying taxes to the Queen, right?
Yeah. Oh, especially in Barbados.
Still on those islands, by the way. People
She
don't
does.
talk about it, but the Queen still owns those islands, and so you know, there's really not much you guys can do there.
Thank you very much. And not just that, the programming down here is so freaking strong that people don't want to go anywhere. People are still not planting their
That's
foods.
because they're comfortable. That's because they're comfortable.
Thank you very much.
Because, so, you know, but that's why it's important to, you know, you got to get them to follow my page so that they can learn more about Africa.
Yeah, definitely. So they definitely need to. I think a lot of the people in the US are now becoming aware of the possibilities in Africa. I've seen a lot of videos where people saying that they live there and everything is good. First of all, if this conversation don't win you ever, go somewhere where there's not racism. Understand? Go somewhere where you can be loved. But the only thing about it is you may have to be like a second and a third wife, but it is not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing. Really,
actually a good thing. Let me tell you why it's a good thing. It's because you don't need a bank. You won't need a bank. You won't need to go get some. You have your family there that can already help.
Thank you very much.
That's exactly. That's the difference. So if anything, it's actually an advantage.
Yeah.
And then you have family already there, so you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like what else can you ask?
Exactly. And not just this, that. I know that a lot of people are going to be worried about leaving their family behind. Land is $5,000. You try and tell me you can't get another $5,000, buy another piece of land, and then bring your family there? That's not an excuse.
Then keep them to stay with the family, and then watch the family, look at the family
suffer.
Stop.
Stop making excuses. I am going to Africa. Understand that my DNA is pulling me there. This is one of the reasons why I am doing these videos, because this is something that we need to do again. We need to be able to go back where we are and stop letting other people who are not or initially from there live off of something that we can accomplish and live off of. That is rightfully ours. So it is not. So let me ask you a question. This is my thing so they can understand then. The exchange between the Congolese, whatever that word is.
Congolese.
Yes, money to the US. Because I know a lot of US people are going to be watching this.
The Congolese, the Congo, DRC uses dollars, American dollars.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm telling you, there's money there.
So,
they use American dollars, not Guyanese dollars. Not they use American dollars. So when you have $100 here, you go there, it's $100.
Wow. Okay, so what about the other African country? Let's say I wanted to go to Nigeria is huge. Let's say not Ghana. Give me something less populated.
Namibia.
What is the exchange?
I'm not sure. I have to look into their money.
I will look into their money as well, right?
Yeah.
I will look into their money as well. But my thing is, people, do your research in Africa.
Yeah, what I suggest is the best way to do it is to just to take your passport and just go visit. Like you go visit, you go to one, just like people do when you go to Europe. Go to one country, it'll cost you maybe $200 to go to the next country. Then from there you go to another country. It's like cheap. Like before you know it, you visited 4 or 5 countries, and then you would, like when you go, your spirit will tell you, "I belong here."
Yeah.
You know, you just feel it.
And two, if you can spend money on visiting Hawaii or the US or all these other countries, why not just visit Africa? Save a trip.
Tell me, to leave Barbados and come here, do you have to have a visa?
Yeah, we have to have a visa.
Is it hard to get a visa there?
Very hard to get the visa.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's hard. It takes at least, I think, a year or so for you to your waiting period, and they ask you so many different questions. And if you're black, ooh, it's hard for you to go. So it's difficult, but it takes a while. But they if you're lucky, me now, if I go for a visa, my ass gonna talk to the ancestors, manifest that shit, and get it in no time. But for people who are not aware of it, it's gonna take them a while. So yeah, but it's difficult to get a visa here. If you are Barbadian going to England, it may be a bit easier, but to go to the US is really hard. So yeah. And I think you have to get a visa from Barbados to go to Africa as well. But Guyana, some of the places in Africa, you don't have to get a visa. And this is why I'm so happy that I'm a Guyanese, because I can travel to a lot of places. I can travel to South Korea without a visa.
Yeah,
so,
you have to check the countries
that you can travel to.
Countries that have already agreements for no visas.
Yeah, and the reason why Guyana is able to travel to a lot of places because we have a lot of resources. We have lumber, we have gold, bauxite, and now that, well, we all had oil, but now it's become something. A lot of places are opening up where we can say that we're going to go there. It's not going to happen now because the government here in Guyana is about to do beer foolishness, but you can still travel. So I think, first of all, Guyanese, I think it's best now that you know your ass is about to get slaughtered, go to Africa because it's about to get crazy over there now. So pick your children and everybody up, get some money, and go to Africa. It's not simple. Yeah. So you may have to have a husband with a few wives, but it's okay. I'll make a video about polyamory and show you the hindsight of it. It's a good thing. It is not a bad thing. Do not let the colonizers put in your head that it is bullshit. It is not bullshit. Having a few other wives with you and a husband with a good head and a shoulder can take you a long way. This is how our race survived back in the days. They didn't just marry one guy and one woman. It was a village. Yep. This is why we were so populated. So we need to do that again. This is my reason for asking you for coming here. I wanted this conversation because I wanted people to know that we don't have to suffer anymore. We have somewhere that will welcome us, that people are not going to be racist towards us, and we will be able to exchange culture. Not just that, too. We who were colonized and brought here will be in a position to learn who we are. We are a people who don't know a lot about ourselves. We don't know anything about our culture. And we have the opportunity to do this again, do it again. At this time, we're going to get it right. So do not waste your time trying to fit into a world that was never built for you to fit in the first place. So, pardon me?
I say you said it all.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, stop being lazy and just leave. Just leave. Understand? Yeah. So in this video, I will be putting, most likely you would have already seen me putting a few clips in here showing you that certain things that they have portrayed about Africa is really and truly not the truth. And I have seen a video with some of the leaders apologizing to us as a people, saying that they are asking our forgiveness for what their ancestors did by some of them sending us here.
We are very privileged to be with you, particularly our brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and the diaspora, and the people from all over Africa, our brothers and sisters from all over Africa. I wish at this point to particularly to apologize deeply on behalf of the chiefs and people of Gold Coast and Ghana for the atrocities, the cruelty, the inhuman treatment that were committed 400 years ago by my ancestors during the Atlantic slave trade, where over 400 years ago, millions of our brothers and sisters were captured, sold, and transported under inhumane and cruel circumstances through Elmina Castle across to the Caribbean and to the New World. On behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, I do render unqualified apology, deep from the bottom of our hearts. Deep from our bottom of our hearts. But one thing that I want you to be aware of, it was not without resistance. Some of our chiefs did fought and resisted. Some of our people did fought and resisted. But we are fighting a losing battle against a stronger army. People with guns, and we had no guns. They deceived us with liquor and all other temptations. Whatever the circumstances that led us to us, we stand here to render apology. And it's my wish and prayer that this apology is accepted. It's accepted deep by our brothers and sisters from the diaspora. May the blood of Jesus assist us to overcome that evil, that never again should we witness this cruelty, this inhuman cruelty of man to man in this country. I thank you, and once again, on behalf of the chiefs and people of Ghana, we do render this apology. And I ask my colleague to add a few words to what I have said to you. And it's my wish and prayer that in the name of the blood of Jesus, you do accept our apology. Thank you very much.
We stand here once again symbolically at the gate of no return. We stand here as husband and wife. We stand here as the African male and as the African woman, the African family, the African community, the representatives of an African nation in a diaspora. We have come to say that we've heard your words. We have discerned through our experience and through our journey that what the devil meant for evil, God meant for good. Through all our trials, through all our tribulations, God has a plan. That plan involves us standing together.
They want us again So why not take a chance and do this for yourselves, for your family? As he said, you can have vanilla plants, become a millionaire. Just plant stuff.
Yep.
Is that time. So so how long did you live in the Congo, even though you're from there? What is the culture like? Because I know a lot of people want to know about the people there, the language there, etc.
I lived there for about 15 years. And I left for France. Then after France, I came here. But I mean, the culture, it's, I don't know how to summarize it. It's very family oriented. They love the music. The Congo tribes are very musically inclined. The music is at the center of the culture. The dancing, family really. We once practiced animism. Animism before the colonizers came.
Which is what?
Animism is when you not really worship, but you in a way you respect and worship animals. So there's certain animals. People don't talk about it, but that's what we had before the colonizers came. There were certain animals that were considered divine. In fact, the word Congo, Congo is it means the land of the leopard.
Wow.
That's amazing. The leopard was the divine animal in our culture.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And so there were certain animals we worshipped. The leopard represent the strength and all of that. The gorilla, the different animals, and so we were practicing animism.
Got you. So
then basically the spirit, we believe that the animals had spirits, and the spirits of animals is what we call it.
Okay. Because when you really sit down and think about it, I know a lot of people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but it's a reality. Animals are smarter than us, by far. Understand? They are a species that are able to communicate without speech.
Understand? Especially the leopard. And the thing is, when the colonizers came, they made us kill them a lot. Yeah. Because we worship them. And so it's a way to destroy what you have.
Yes.
And they indoctrinated our people to think that the leopard represented the devil.
Wow.
When in fact, it was the opposite.
Wow. Which then makes your belief weaker when you hurt the thing that's
destroy what you believe in.
Yeah.
It's easy to make you believe whatever you want.
Exactly. So basically that would mean that is exactly how they got their religious belief into the people, by destroying their deity, if you must say.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically,
they were basically saying whatever you believe in is not good enough. This is what God brings. This is what is good.
So then, so right now in this present day in the Congo, what is this? But that's a stupid question, but still I'm going to ask for the people. What is the strongest religion there?
Christianism.
There we go. See, you got your answer. See, there we go. It's a thing. They've pushed it through, all the way through. And when you sit there and you study how they got that, it is basically from their religion, but they switch it to a different form.
Yep.
So it's much more than people think this is.
For sure.
All right. Got you. All right. So with that being said, people, in closure, I want you guys to know that there are other options out there, and there are other revenues that you can look into that you can actually try to get out of this. I am tired of watching the news and seeing that people are homeless and people that are in child support and in the court trying to get money and can't open their own business because you're not getting loans from the bank and all of these different things. I feel as a community that they've destroyed our family base. Create that family base again, save some money, and get the hell out of here. Go live overseas. Understand? So I will do another video about this because this is where I am focusing my line. That's why I'm also into the cryptocurrency world and trying to look into certain investments, where it can go and how you can use it. So that way when this change and you're somewhere safe, you're good to go. So I'm going to do another video talking about all of that.
Yep,
So
I'm here whenever you want.
yes, thank you so very much. So with that being said, I want to thank him so much for coming again and indulging me in my little questionnaire until I got to this point. He was very patient. And please check out his page so you can learn more about the conversation we've had. He always pushes to go back to Africa. He does almost every day. Okay? So
we should have the same convo on Instagram, by the way.
I'm done with that. Let me know and I'm definitely there.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds good.
So
but we have to have it in the evening because that's
fine.
where it's better for me.
I'm cool in recording because I don't have those lights. I'm not able to see properly at night. But because we're going to be doing a live, I can do it at night anytime because it's not going to be recorded.
No, but the live, I understand for your Zoom, but the IG live, you just need the lights.
Exactly. So yeah, just message me and we're definitely going to have this conversation again so people can realize that there are other options out there. And yeah. So with that being said, thank you so very much for agreeing to this again. Go check out this page. Please tell me where they can find you.
Hamish Africa on IG.
Got it.
Hamish, AMISH, Africa.
Got it. Check him out.
When you put it on there, hopefully you put that there so that they
can yeah, the last video I had you all over the screen. So yeah, in big bold letters, the community period. So check the guy out and I hope that you really consider this video because this is something that in about 5 years you should consider because shit is about to get real. Really real.
Yeah.
Understand? Yeah. So get your ass up and go to Africa. We need to go there. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for listening and have a fantastic day. Bye, guys. Let me stop. Hey, you. Yes, you. So, thank you so much for watching my video and I hope that you enjoyed the video and thank you so much for coming to my page. So, I would like for you to subscribe and I also want you to watch the last video and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.